so let's begin. Where is my screen? I lost my screen. Thanks, Amelia. Right. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to develop an effective organic strategy on Facebook and Instagram. I know I'm going to talk about these two. It's bracket Instagram because it's owned by Facebook, but the organic part and the strategy applies to any social media you're in. But in this case, we're going to talk about the biggest one. So I'm going to talk about the backbone of organic strategy. We're going to talk about increasing your reach on Facebook with engaging content, measuring the success of your content. So I'm going to go through as to what we look for, what I look for, because it can be very confusing when it comes to measuring. Then I'm going to go through groups as part of your organic strategy, what I look for when it comes to organically using group to grow. And then we're going to get to Q&A. As we're going through, we're going to spend an hour together. There's not a lot of material content in this because we're mainly talking about strategy. It's not tactical necessarily, but just if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put it on the chat. So I will definitely answer it. If I don't, I will get back to it. But when you put it on the chat, definitely it's there so we can always go through it. Let's get social. Let's connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook. But would love to get social with you. All right, so we're going to talk about the backbone of marketing strategy. Session we have related just been called away. So yes, it has. It has been definitely gets recorded and will send to you as well. I'm hoping it's the same name correctly, but yeah, you will get the recording. All right, so let's talk about the backbone of your organic strategy. So there are three primary tools you can use when it comes to Facebook. It's Facebook page, Facebook groups, and obviously ads. We're not going to go through the ads. At some point, I'm going to talk about boost posts and using the boost. Even though I know it's considered as ad, if you're paying for something, then it's advertising. But I am going to go through it very briefly when it comes to organic content. But the purpose of this, we want to talk about organic strategy. So number one is for a long time, pages. It's been a long time. Pages is the reason that businesses join Facebook. So even though the algorithm has changed in 2018 and honestly, it's changing every day, it is still a core component of your marketing on this platform. So there's three reasons that I always recommend for businesses to consider a Facebook page. So your page shows up in search engine. The content in the about section. So Google optimizes when someone looking for, because you got to remember, Google has to provide the best information possible to the person searching, even though it's owned by Microsoft, and Microsoft owns LinkedIn and YouTube, and most of the time they're the one who comes up. However, at the end of the day, the whole purpose of their mission is to provide information available, the best information available for their users. So if your page is a public page, your content and your about section, if it's SEO optimized, when I say SEO optimized, I don't necessarily mean just go keyword crazy, but if it's optimized, so when someone looking for your products or services, not necessarily yours, but what you're offering, then they can find you because Google does consider those. You consider your about section and your page. Next thing is, people expect businesses to have a business page. I call it brainwashed, but when it comes to Facebook and Instagram, when someone asks you, are you on Facebook? They don't necessarily asking if you as a person have a Facebook profile, because for some reason we think everyone's on Facebook. So we expect businesses to have a business page. When it comes to LinkedIn, though, it's totally different. We know in LinkedIn, we check our company pages, or LinkedIn calls it company pages. So that's why it's very important. When it comes to LinkedIn, we want to connect with your professional profile, But Facebook, we expect businesses to have a Facebook page. And it's an amazing platform for you to use anyway, because they can find the information, they can connect with you and send you a message. It's sort of a place where your users can actually come and hang out, learn about you, learn about your products and services. Everything you post in your social platform, in Facebook and Instagram, is a representation of your business. We don't want to go all salesy, but trust me, every single post you do, even your quotes, this is all part of the marketing, even the quotes that you post represents your business. So people tend to come and check out to see what this business is about. What do they do? What do they believe in? What do they offer? What do they post? Thirdly, your page is a source of information and obviously a promotional content for your business. So when it comes to advertising, you absolutely need to have a business page. It is against Facebook policy to use your professional profile as a business. And I don't know why, I do not understand why people do that, because you have no capability of advertising. If anyone, maybe before, when organic was really good, maybe 10 years ago, actually 2018, maybe before 2018, if the organic was good, somebody advised that you can use your Facebook profile, you can create a Facebook profile for your business. Then these days, it's the worst advice any marketer could actually give to the small business owner. The reason being, first of all, the organic reach is not a lot. It's actually very limited. Still important, don't get me wrong, still important, but you can use advertising because it is an advertising platform. You can reach more people, you can put your content in front of more people, and it is against their policy anyway, and they own the platform. I wouldn't go against the policy, to be honest with you. So it's very, very important to understand how important it is to have a Facebook page. The next one, my favorite, well, actually anything to do with Facebook and Instagram. I've been marketing for 20 years and I would have loved to have social media or even anything digital marketing when I started my business back in 2001. So another one is Facebook group. It's the place for building deep connection. And my favorite part, two-way communication between your prospect or between your client and yourself, your business, your team members. That's the good thing about it. With Facebook page, you don't have a lot of that interaction, the two-way communication. But with Facebook group is very different. They can interact. We're going to go through it in a second. They can interact with each other. And it doesn't necessarily have to be for the prospect. You can use it for the top of the funnel, and you can use it for your audience, for your paying client as well. Because remember, and that one of the way that you can increase the business is by people coming back to you, buying more, or they've already bought from you, and they can be your brand evangelist, and they can talk to about you, and they can give you referrals. So it's very, very important. Increasing your business is not just about top of the funnel. It's not just about advertising to the cold audiences. So that's your Facebook group. I'm talking nonstop. Okay, so 400 million people belong to a Facebook group. I don't know, but that's that alone. I think it's something that probably most businesses can consider. So how our groups can help your business? They can help to build a community. When you build a brand around a community and group, it helps foster connection. It's so important. When you build your brand around building a community, around group, around two-way communications, like all of that. We're humans. We love that interaction. I don't know. I love it. So it's very important for you to consider it. They can have access to you. They can connect with your business better. The next one is the delighting your audience. So this is where you can use it. Like I said, it's not just about the top of the funnel. It's not just about prospect. It's not just about using it to build a brand awareness. You can absolutely use it in the delight stage. Usually when we have customers coming through, they buy our products and services, sometimes they might need help to use our product. They might need help to use our services. Like I've got a HR. We try this with a company that provides HR platform. So there are always going to be a problem. There were always going to be some things that the customers needed. So the client created a Facebook group specifically for people who bought that product. They help them, they go through the training, and it helps so much to bring. It's amazing how much business it actually brings. But that you do have to help them. We're not using that to we talk about ethical actually. The next one, it plays into the algorithm. So one of the things that we lost after 2018 was the organic reach of our content. So it actually plays into the algorithm because they do have a section on the platform itself that is specifically for the group. And if you are part of the group, every time there is a notification in that group, it comes up separately because this person is part of that group. So that's another way of playing into the algorithm and how to use it to increase your brand awareness. Okay, even though I say that it's really good, I want you to keep in mind that Facebook groups are not for every business. There is so much involved for the Facebook group. Facebook group is about building a community, is about building a connection. If you're using if you create a Facebook group and go, okay, it plays into the algorithm, I can use it more. If you're using the group to pitch about your products and services and do the post exactly the same style that you're posting on your Facebook page or your Instagram page, it's definitely not for you. It's not the way to use it. You have to see how you can use this group to provide value to your audiences. It's not just about our products or services. Even though you're creating this to nurture your lead and nurture your prospect, still not about pitching. So it's totally different thing. Also, it requires a lot of time and effort. So if you don't have resources, then I wouldn't recommend it because it takes a lot of time to build that group. There's a lot of strategy involved and there's a lot of time and resource. You need to build that group. If you've seen a group that is very engaged and it's a big group, it didn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of work and a lot of energy. So you just have to be aware, is that going to fit with my strategy? Do I have enough time and resource to do this? And what am I going to use it for? So again, it's very, very important. So obviously they're sort of different from a page. You can view a built-in analytic called Group Insight, very different from a Facebook page. You can set your Facebook group as private. This is something that you cannot do, obviously, with the page. Why would you do it? It's like hiring the premises and hide it and don't tell anyone where your business is. But there is different way of doing this. I like the private. People are more open. The people that businesses that I'm not a big fan of open group. I'm personally not a big fan. And we tried and tested it. Some group in some industries works. Maybe those networking like suburb business groups, maybe that will work, but I still think private group, it gives people that sense of privacy and it works better. The thing I love about it is you can post documents, you can create polls, ask a question, buy and sell within that group. Members can chat with each other. This is something that Facebook pages cannot do. But in there, members can chat with each other. It takes time though. So it takes time to get to the point that people start interacting with each other. And also, my favorite, they can get notification. Every time you post something, they get a notification, and it's separate from the notification on your on the other notification on the platform, so it's not going to get mixed up and they can see it. So, however, Facebook group will never replace your page because the functionality of it is very different. They're not the same, but they only complement and they're just the tools that you can use for your overall marketing goals. All right, so I'm going to talk about increasing your reach on Facebook with engaging content. This must sound really bad. Okay, so today, about 1% of the users who liked your page will ever come back to your page again. just 1%, less than 1%. And when they like it and they chose to follow because they said they want to hear from you, less than 2% of them will ever see your post, provided that you're very engaging and you're creating a lot of content. So that alone said you might be thinking, oh, so should I even bother with this? Absolutely. You still have to, even though it has become very tricky. And the good thing about small business owners is that we can be nimble. We can have a different strategy to playing with the changes of the platform. I don't like people jumping to something. I'm all about having a strategy. I like slowing down before speeding up. Everything we do, you must have a strategy. So the platform itself works around, the whole purpose of this, it works around building a community. Facebook's just, you hang out with friends and family, and I usually say stalk the friends that you don't talk to. So that you got to see it as that way. However, though, I was going to say, the whole purpose of this is to make sure there is a platform that people come hang out and enjoy. So your organic content is still should be part of your strategy. It's not just about advertising, even though I don't believe the organic alone works. I've been doing this since 2018, and I just do not believe that organic alone, you have to pay somehow. Organic alone works. You need to put either time into it or money. But and as a small business owner, it's not like you have, or any business owner, it's not like you have plenty of time and you want to use your time as efficiently as possible. So it still is important, though. Even all the things people say, it is still important. So how do you increase your reach? You might have heard this before, and maybe I'm repeating myself, but it's very important to go back to basic. It's absolutely important. Publish content more frequent. So posting once or twice a month is not enough. Remember I was telling you, less than 2% of people who ever follow you will ever see you. So if you post less, it's going to get less as well. They're not going to see it. So I'm going to give you a little secret. So this is what Facebook said. When a user, for example, me, every time I log in to Facebook algorithm, based on my time with Facebook, based on what content I liked and interacted with, I stopped scrolling and read, curates 1,500 possible content that I might be interested to see, which includes my friends, my family, the pages I like, brands I like. So just imagine if you're only posting once or twice a month, no way, no chance that for your post to come up. So you just, and I know I'm going to quickly go through that next one, because I know that I say you need to be posting, we need to be frequent, but it's about the quality. But once or twice is just not enough. It just will not work, especially if you're only relying on organic as well. Next one, it's all about quality, not about quantity anymore. So this is something, so I'm going to tell you a little secret. So I employed someone who was a social media manager, and she's new, so I'm very fussy because you have to work with the platform. Even these days, people still think they just have to pump out content. It's not about that. It's about the quality of the content you're providing. So we need to spend time to create more quality of content, not once or twice a month, more than that, but more, not a lot of quantity, but more quality of content. So it's very, very important for you to spend time and create quality content. Post relevant content. Relevant content to your audiences, or trending topics or hashtags or industry news. It's not just about our products and services. There are other things you can start. I know that when you're creating content, there's always core content, which has everything to do with the products and services you provide. But there's always other content as well. You can go with the content that complements other services, or other news that complements your services. For example, in my industry, there's a lot happens when it comes to SEO, and then some changes. And why is it important? That's something I have. So I'm not an SEO expert, but that's something that my audiences need to know anyway from in a marketing basis. Like it is important for them to be aware of it, even though they don't necessarily need to use it, or they can employ someone else to do it. They can get someone else to do it for them. But it's something that complements it. I know the business owners that I work with or I serve, they need to know these things. Or if there's an event coming up, if there's any changes coming up. So it's very important. Stick to relevant. And trending topic is another, like something so simple. Trending topic, for example, I don't know, sometimes the TBTs or Sunday Fun Day. These are the trending topics sometimes as well. So diversify it. Facebook Live, Facebook, and I should put Instagram Live. They are your best friend. I'm telling you, I know sometimes it might be like, no, I don't know if I want to do it. There's 10 times more engagement in live. And when you're starting out, I'm going to promise you no one will turn up. So don't panic. It's okay. If you haven't done it and you're not sure, if you're not comfortable on camera, you don't have to film yourself. You can just film it, film around you, and talk on the other side. And even if you want to be in it, I guarantee you no one will turn up. But you get 10 times more engagement. As you consistently, you need to go live. It's not just about going live once and expecting miracles. It doesn't happen. You have to be consistent. Same thing with your Facebook and Instagram Live. And people tend to be more forgiving. When it comes to the live videos, they're more forgiving. They know it's live and it's very interactive. Remember, it's a social platform. Okay, the next one, I know I said we're not going to talk about ads. However, Boost is sort of part of your organic, because what Boost does, it's optimized. When in 2018 they took away organic reach, they gave us a boosted button. So that boosted button does is just creates an awareness. It's top of the funnel. It puts your post in front of more people. It's not optimized for sale. You cannot use it to generate leads, but it's a great top of the funnel. One thing that I use it in my agency, when we use the boost button and there's certain boosted posts, if it's certain posts resonates really well, we increase more engagement, impression is higher, and we get clicks and everything else, then we know this is the content will resonate with the client's audiences. So that's another way. Another way is actually algorithm in the back end. It's a machine learning. So the more it learns, it's just a donation period. Like you pay to get data for you're eventually doing more specific advertising and lead generation. Okay. All right. So that's what we're going to do. So, however, one thing I have to tell you, Facebook, little secret, Facebook, you tend to sort of glorify something, and they say, oh, look, this person's done 85% to 95% really well. You might want to boost it. At the end of the day, I'm not saying they're lying, but maybe they are, I don't know. But at the end of the day, you need to create your own KPI as to what justifies a post that's done really well. Because we don't want to, and I say that so often, they've got plenty of money, $1 trillion business, they don't need more. I'm sure they do, they're still working on it. But we as a business owners, we need to be very savvy. We need to have our own KPI at what works, what doesn't. I'm going to go through what analytics or what insight I look for and what we actually use those insights to determine, is this a good post? Should we post it? Should we boost it? Should we use it for the ads? But have your own KPI that it has to it had to hit certain things in order for me to go, okay, let me test and try. And that actually comes from testing. Don't think that I know straight away when I look at something. I know I do this all the time and every day. But even for us, even for me who's been doing this for so long, even that, it is a testing. I can't say something works unless I see everything, unless we tested it. But that's what I want you to think. It's not It's always about testing, not always about trying. So now, even though, of course, I don't think organic alone works, I do think it is a pay-to-play platform. You need to pay, and advertising still could be the easiest way to expand your reach within Facebook. But the good news is that if you really, really pay attention to your audience, to your prospect, and the people that you want to serve, and you are producing great quality content to meet the needs of those audiences, then Facebook will reward you with better engagement and reach, because it is part of their mission. They need to, you got to remember, they created this business by providing a free platform. So all of us, most of us who are free users, they've got to create a content, they've got to create interaction, they've got to create an environment for us to go that want to stay there. So that's where your content comes in. If you are, you know exactly who your audience is, you know who exactly you're going to serve, what they need, what their pain point, and how you can help them with your core audiences, or even diversify your audience, your content, they will reward you, because it is actually it's the basis of their business. So it's very, very important for you to pay attention. So there you go. We're talking about how to increase it. So you've got to make sure that you create a content, frequent, valuable content. All right, so I'm going to get to measuring the success of your content. It's so easy to get caught up. So easy to get caught up with all these numbers and analytics and everything else. I'm a simple person. I like something that I can understand. So this is what I go through even when I do advertising, when we are set our goals and our campaign objective, we only look for the certain things. There are things that we look into, but I like to keep things simple. And when it comes to, remember I said the KPI that you need to create for yourself, this is what I look for. These are the only things I look for when it comes to your organic post in your insight. Engagement, reach, impression, followers and like, video performance. So this is all I look for. The reason so the engagement, which is your biggest and the most important and critical matrix in the platform. Facebook algorithm, so every interaction you have or someone has with your content, they give them score. So engagement, it gets higher score. When I say engagement, when someone likes it, it gets a score. If someone likes it, make a comment, it gets another score. If someone likes it, makes a comment, tag someone, and share this, means for Facebook, this is the most critical thing. For Facebook means this is an amazing content. This person needs to see it. I need to increase the reach, because it's a content that I want people to stay there, right? I want people to stay in my platform. So engagement is one of the most critical identifiers of how your content is working. And I know you might actually think there's lots of people out there who don't interact with my post. So that's when your reach comes in, which is the next one. Because reach is the number of people who see your content you post on Facebook, even if they don't interact with it. So if I know some people are so paranoid about liking something, and that's absolutely fine. The reach will show you, even if they stopped scrolling with their thumb on the phone, they stopped scrolling and they read it. Your algorithm knows that it was good content for this person to actually stop, go through it, read it, or even play a video, which is the next one we're going to talk about. So it's I don't want you to panic if no one interacts with it. It's important for you to engage. As you build your community on your page and as you build your following, the engagement and interaction happens. But you got to remember, reach is good to know as well. So don't panic if the reach is high, it's absolutely fine. The next one is the impression. So impression is one of the oldest things when it comes to the marketing. It's the number of times someone saw your content, even if the same person sees it multiple times. So I don't want you to panic. It's not going to jack up the prices. It's not going to do anything. But the competition is really high. Remember the signals I was telling you about, that algorithm puts up to 1,500 content together for us to see? Is algorithm Facebook knows how often Neda needs to see an ad, to interact with an ad, how many times she needs to see an ad, click on the button, how many times she's actually clicked on the link and purchased something. So if it usually takes about, I think, 6 to 8 interactions before someone becomes a lead. So if it takes someone 4 times to see something to take next action, that's where the impression comes in. It's absolutely fine. They know and they show it in the time that this person interacting. They test it and trial it. It's a machine. It's an amazing machine. So impression is very, very important. So don't panic. It's okay for someone to see your ad twice or 3 times. The next one is page likes and followers. This is what some people call it, it's vanity metrics, is not important. And to me, followers are not important. If the followers, you can absolutely buy followers. Go to things, there are plenty of platforms out there. If the followers is what you want, obviously this is not a good workshop for you, but followers doesn't pay bills. The reason important though, if you are creating content and people follow your page, interacting with you, that's what you want. Means that the content you're producing is the right content for them. And most businesses, people have to go through a journey before they buy from you. They either in their awareness stages, they just found out about your business and they thought, oh, she's got something or he's got something that I like to get to know. I've been thinking about it, so they like it, they follow it, they interact with it, they usually sit in the background and watch it for a while. But it is still an indicator for me that it is a growing. However, when I have a look, there are some businesses who come to me and tell me they're not getting any engagement, and all of a sudden they've got 20,000 or 10,000 followers. They've only have done certain amount of posts, and they tell me they haven't bought this. It's just not possible. So it takes time to build, but I would recommend you just concentrate on followers. Don't do that, because it's not about followers and likes and everything else. It's about interaction. It's about engagement. It's about lead. It's about sending you a message. It's about for them to become a customer. All right. So next one is the video. So I have to tell you the video because it's very important. We're using video a lot. So when it comes to the video views, again, same thing. There's 3 things we look for. Retention. So retention is just to find out how long your viewers have been watching your video. So if for example, again, so you got to be careful. It's not just about okay, so they only watched it for about, if it's, I don't know, 15 minutes video and they only watched it for about 40 seconds. Is this mean my content is not good? What sometimes is we look at, you got to look at the video. Are you starting and getting to the point on time? How many of us have seen a video that this person starts the video and they talk and talk and talk and you think, get to the point? To be exactly the same. You need to become your own auditor and look at it. And sometimes it could be because you need to make them into smaller chunks. It doesn't necessarily mean your video is bad. It could be we need to make it into smaller chunks. Engagement is another one. So there's something that we definitely look for. Again, same thing. Retention is important. So retention is the first thing we look at. Engagement is another. It's exactly the same when it comes to videos as well. Meaning are they engaging with you? Are they liking it? Are they commenting? Are they sharing? Clicks is another one. How many times as if someone has clicked on your video to watch it again? Because one thing is, because if someone stops it and then come back and click it again, it means that they didn't want to miss out. So this is something else that we consider when we look into it. Part of the click, when you look into it, there is other clicks as well. So there's something to look into in your insight, to look into it as well. Other clicks, under the clicks, it could be they clicked on their business name. It could be on clicked on something else on the ad. So It's still not bad, still good. It means that they're interacting and they're interested in to see who you are and what you are and everything else. It's not bad, still good. Any interaction, honestly, any interaction is good, unless they wanted to run away. So this is what I look for when it comes to creating your own KPI. This is what I look for. Okay, let's go through groups. All right, so Mark Zuckerberg, he said that we want to help 1 billion people join meaningful communities. If we can do this, it will not only reverse the whole decline in the community membership we've seen around the world, but it will also strengthen our social fabric and bring the world together. Guess how he wants to do it? With groups. And obviously, you can make money as well. But it is groups. So that's what he's talking about. Like I said, there's more than 400 million people is part of the group, and more than 100 million people see group as the most essential part of the Facebook experience. So then again, it comes as to no surprise why Facebook is spending a lot of money on it. So it's very, very important. So how do you approach group? Depends on the type of community you want to create. But you must have a strategy in place. Again, keep in mind, groups are not for everyone. It requires time, it requires resources. You've got to make sure you're committed to this. You can have, so this is something that I suggest, you can have a product specific, depending on the business, depending on what you're selling. You can have a product specific group, industry specific group. There's most of us probably part of it. I'm part of 2 groups. I'm actually paying for them. 2 groups that it has to do with digital marketing and social media marketing. Customer user group, they work really, really well. Networking group, which a lot of people haven't, especially through the COVID, after the COVID, that it exploded. So what I would like you to think about is, think about what kind of community will be most helpful to your audience. So you got to create value. It's not just using it to promote your products or services. Absolutely promote your products and services, but not in a way of, hey, look, this is my products, this is my service. You need to make sure you have a different strategy for this. Going cold, hard selling on it, it doesn't work. You got to build it up. It's just that I always say that professional courtship that you have to have on social before that becomes your currency in order to sell to people on social. So it's very, very important. How to increase it is very simple. Again, humans, we love to be important. Welcome new members to the group. I say that every time I run this workshop, and I've tested it, and we do that to a client. We tested it as to the business owner spends once a week, 15 minutes, and it goes and calls out every new member who joined, thanks them, goes through the group, where to find this, where to find that. 15 minutes once a week, and it's done amazingly. They connect with that person. You can use, I think Facebook gives you that you can actually do a post. Absolutely do that. You need to welcome people. But when the group owner or the business owner actually spend time, calls out their names, thanking them for joining. If they have any question, reach out. If you have team members who are actually part of this group, let them know this is the person. But it works amazingly, and that has always been part of our strategy when we tested it. We've been doing this for the past 3 years with the group when we want to grow, and that's always been part of the strategy. Post polls, surveys, and quizzes. Ask questions. Ask human. We love to judge and give our opinion. So use that to interact. Live is another one. It works really well. And engage directly with the members. They love that. They absolutely love engaging with you. And you have to start, when you're actually starting, you have to start yourself by engaging with them, being available. And sometimes you might have to be going live once a day to just get that going. So there's 3 metrics, which is group growth, engagement, and members details. So what I look for that you should measure. One thing I love to know is the group growth. So if there is a great group, there's always a growing group. We all know that, right? So it's very, very important for us to realize if the group is growing, it means a lot of people are talking about it. Engagement is another one. So it's very important to know that your members are actually engaging with each other. So the reason it's important is obviously there's certain subject. It's going to give you an idea. A certain subject is very important and they're engaging with each other. Another thing that I love to know who's the members that engage with the other members, which are called brand advocates, is we use that to create more engagement. So in the insight section, we'll actually tell you who is the most engaged audience, member, and when they are engaged and everything else when it's happening. One thing we use it once a month, we have a star member. Certain businesses that I run a strategy for, we don't, because it's very still at top of the funnel. So we don't do a lot of advertising. There's not a lot of promotion happens in that group. However, though, if we have a member who's engaging and interacting with everyone, we use that. We sort of, this person becomes a star member. So once a month, we select the star members. We do have, you can have a grading. So the ones that interact really well, you can actually give them, let them know that they can promote themselves in the platform and talk about their products and services. So that's another way to get people getting engaged more. Or if there's a lot of people answering people's questions, that's another one. You can always thank them and have their name up. So it's very, very important. The reason that we're looking to who's engaging is because we can use that to create more engagement. Because there's more engagement, algorithm says, oh, there's good content. There's a lot of engagement in that group. So obviously people enjoy being in that group. And if someone is searching for what you are providing in that group, your group will come up. So it's very, very important as well. My friends, algorithm is your friend. Algorithm is everyone's friend. But so there you go. We've gone through this. Have I made it? Yes. We got 10 minutes to go through. If you have any questions, let's get to the questions. We're gonna, oops, nope. Okay, stop sharing. All right. So how's everyone doing? Do you have any questions?
Should you be using your posts to link back to your web page?
Sorry?
Should you be using your posts to include links back to your web page and products and things there?
On an organic, definitely not. If you would have asked me last year, I would have said yes. But in January, Zuckerberg came and said, so all the changes that happened outside of the Facebook, Apple made it about privacy, even though now you can advertise in Apple platforms. So what Zuckerberg said on January clearly said, if you put a link on your post and you want to send people outside of the Facebook ecosystem or Meta ecosystem, if you are paying for it as an ad, that's absolutely fine. If you are not paying for it, you are going to get hardly any reach. So what they want you to do is they want you to use organic native posts. So if you want to promote your product, create a video natively. And if someone maybe have a call to action, ask them a question. Have you used this product before? What we want is we want to start interaction. Messenger is good because it is still inside Facebook ecosystem. But if you want to organically put the link in there, it never works. People do that with blog posts. It never works. And he came and said it's not going to work because he doesn't want people leaving the platform because everything else outside Meta ecosystem is owned by Google and Microsoft. So he doesn't want people, unless you pay, then absolutely fine. But other than that, no, it won't get any reach.
No. Thank you.
Oh, you know, you talked about measuring groups, your metrics. So I haven't got any groups set up at the moment, which I need to. But when you like I'm part of groups, but I don't have any set up, so I can't see it from the other end. So when you talk about identifying your brand advocates, so I've seen people do that on groups that I'm in. Where do you see that? Like, do you have to just watch the group constantly, or is that, you can
it's a group inside, Joanne, and usually it takes time for it to build up. In the group inside, it actually, when you own a group, you can see the inside and it tells you.
Oh, just like your page then. Yeah, cool. Okay.
All the insight is there. They're very good with their analytics. They're very good with their insight. They want to make sure, because that's the only way you will know if you're getting anything, but insight is there. It will tell you even what time they're active.
Perfect. Thank you.
That's it. Any other questions? If not, I don't want to take your time.
No, not for today. Thanks, Neda.
No worries, Amelia.
Yeah, no, that was really good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Joanne.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
You too.
Your day with me.
Yeah, I know. My head's a bit full. Thank you, though. Take care.
I think I'm going to go and drink.
Your gin and soda. Bye, darling.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Neda, I'm going to go.
No worries, Amelia. Bye.
Bye.
Stan, see you later. Wow, sure.